Hi guys, good evening. All right, so basically, what you're seeing here is the night of reflection. Um, this was organized by the members and friends and family of Mondale, mostly by members of the media, and yeah. Is which half for the pledge again? Or just like okay. Oh yeah. It's the right time. Yeah. Okay. I look bad. Love my fellow citizens and to dedicate my energy towards happiness and prosperity. Okay, I know. That was not in the pledge what you said.
Big food stand.
Exactly. We got Rick Ross in the house. Karate Kid.
Yeah, the kid. Yes, photo. Hello. He's not here, we'll see it live on Facebook.
Yes.
Let us pray. Oh God, the Lord of life, the conqueror of death, our help in every time of trouble, who does not willingly grieve or afflict the children of men. Comfort those who mourn and give them grace in the presence of death to worship thee, that they may have a sure hope of eternal life and be unable to put their whole trust in thy goodness and mercy through Jesus Christ our Lord, who taught us all to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And
As we
forgive us
forgive
our
us our trespasses.
trespasses,
As we forgive those
that trespass against us.
and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For
For
thine is
thine
the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, City.
Yeah, oh, this lady, there we go.
Not much. You alright?
So the boss itself, the live, So the boss itself, the live, catching everything full.
Wait, mass, sorry.
Mass, I drinking, me, I get mass.
First, I want to say thank you.
Big up yourself, sir.
First, I want to say
Yeah.
Friend gone,
for
but
braving the weather.
sad, really sad, you know. Don't
Yeah.
worry, madness after this.
First, I want to say
You know,
thank you
you're
for
not gonna
braving
come
the
and
weather.
you don't come. If you're not your friend,
As we come to reflect on the life
gone but not forgotten. You don't know.
one of our dearest
Everybody
friends,
gonna miss you, especially with the
confidant,
guy.
Yeah.
stolen trial, brother, whatever Mondale was to you. We reflect on a life that filled our days with laughter, the warmest hugs, the brightest of smiles, the biggest of these hugs, and of course, some of the most delicious food we've ever had. Whether you were a past acquaintance, a customer, a co-worker, classmate, relative rather, we all called him friend. A friend he was to all he met. Tonight, let us reflect on a life that made all our lives just a little bit better. And reflect on someone who made us all smile in whatever little way he could. I want to say welcome to the persons joining us online by Facebook. And again, welcome to all of you. To begin tonight's tribute, with a special word from one of Mondale's closest friends. And we know Mondale spent a number of years in the broadcasting field. Of course, he was one of my biggest icons when I was growing up, and watching him on television or listening to him on the radio. So now I invite the president of the Ghana Press Association and reporter for Prime News to speak and give her critique. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Nazima Magadi.
Good night, everybody. Tonight, I hope you all come out to sing, because you know Mondale would have liked that. I cannot reflect on any solemn moment here tonight. I know it's a solemn occasion. The person I remember, the person all of you would have remembered, was a very jolly, fun-loving person. Mondale loved to dance, he loved to sing. I met Mondale about 20 years ago at Prime News. I was a young reporter, and Adam Harris sent me out with Mondale for like a week following him around on different assignments. And it was one of the most educating and entertaining things I've done at that time. Mondale taught us a lot of things at Prime News. He was a very fun-loving person. There was never a dull day with Mondale. I remember a couple of things. I remember he loved the camera. He always wanted to be on TV. Mondale did stand-ups from all around this country where he go with a stand-up. So the Johnson Jelly again, he set up with these stand-ups. But he did a stand-up, he was in a manhole. He did a stand-up on the top of a building. He finds all these creative ways to do his stand-ups and do the thing that he loved the most, which was reporting. He loved meeting new people. He loved to highlight his news that, was very close to him. And I always talk about this one story where he went to the seawall and met a family that were living behind the seawall. And there was a young boy with a hole in his heart. And Mondale followed that story. And that young man was adopted and left the country. And that was one of the most memorable stories of Mondale. When I saw Mondale a couple of months ago, what we did was just laugh and reminisce about those times. And that is the person I'd like to remember. I know all of you have your own unique stories. For me, he will always be a journalist. I know he's moved on, and doing other things, but he never gave up the opportunity to inform or to follow up on the story. And that's the person we want us to remember. And I hope everybody here shares stories with their dear past in Mondale and their experiences. Thank you for having me here.
Only for me when you put on my bag.
I come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I got you.
Mondale Smith, again, is one of those broadcasters that when you're sitting there, whether you're in a taxi, you're in home, you're in your bed, anywhere, you got up and listened to him. And so is this other person I'm going to introduce right now, who is another dear friend of Mr. Smith. I call him Mr. Smith because I always, whenever Mondale's live on Facebook, I go, MS! Or this other person I'm introducing now. I go, MI! Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Morano Whitehouse.
Thank you, Colin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I don't bore you with this little tribute this evening. So on Monday, May 31st, 2021, my trainee announcer asked me, so you don't have a topic for discussion today? I told her, no,
because it was like I was stuck in a rut and the morning was dragging by painfully. I read a few of the messages from the listeners. I set a reminder to message my friend who I had learned only a few days before was hospitalized. I promised to do that when I got off the air. My spirit was heavy. I was thinking of how the pandemic has us. I thought of how life can change in the twinkling of an eye. And I was feeling really down that morning. You know, it was one of those days that I wanted to get away from the studio as fast as possible. The taxi took a little while to come, and it was a gloomy morning on the outside. The receptionist was surprised to see me waiting because I would usually fret when the car takes a while to arrive, but that day I was unusually quiet. When I got home, I mentioned to my mom that I have to message my friend, you know, he's in the hospital. I did mention to her before that he was in the hospital, and I told her again. The strange thing was that past weekend, my conversations with close friends was about the fact that Mondale was sick and hospitalized. And I kept thinking that I need to message him, at least to know what was happening. My phone battery was low, and I put it to charge and I proceeded to have lunch. Halfway through lunch, all the notifications on my phone were going off. And the calls were starting to come in. I opened the first message and I saw the question, is it true that Mondale has passed? I felt cold. I said, no man, I did not hear anything, let me check. When I checked, my media group on WhatsApp was filled with messages after Adam Harris had just made the announcement. So it was true. I started to cry because MS was no more. I first met Mondale when I was a young secondary school student, beginning my radio career at the Guyana Broadcasting Corporation, a broadcasting house, 44 High Street, Port Augusta. Mondale was a technical operator. Isaiah Chappell, also known as Big Brother Isaiah, remembered when Mondale came to do work study from Christ Church Secondary School. He was so nervous and flustered that he introduced himself as Natasha Waldron.
Yeah, share my number. Please keep me informed
and
about
when
Saturday,
Big Brother
right?
Isaiah worked, he put him on the console in Radio Rhino.
Yes. Okay, yeah, share my number.
Mondale danced
Share
to
my
the
number
7-Up
and this
commercial,
guy
and he played it
also
twice
have
because he
number,
liked the commercial very much.
Yeah, so thank you very much, right? Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow.
He wanted to be on air so badly, but not as a DJ, but as a broadcaster. The standards to become a broadcaster those days were so high that he did not pass his first audition, but he did not give up. And he tried, and every time there was an audition call, Mondale would audition. He finally made the cut about 5 years later, and he was excited and happy about this particular achievement. He was now a part of that elite group of people on radio, a broadcaster. Mondale did radio for a while, and then he left. I believe it was for the Army, I can't recall clearly. But later on, he would become a journalist with Kaito News and Crime News, and he also presented musical programs on television, Caribbean Music Box and Sunday Kind of Love. He minded people's business in the Situation Room and offered advice on religion, politics, money, and sex, topics most controversial, but he enjoyed stirring up the controversy. Mondale emceed national events like the flag-raising ceremony and ACTRA's Emancipation Day programs. I always turned up to see, just to see what he was wearing when he was emceeing these programs, including the panga that he had started wearing upon his return from Suriname. Oh yes, Mondale went to Suriname, and he presented a newscast, and he did journalism for a while, and he did so many things next door. You know something? He never failed to acknowledge my presence whenever he was emceeing an event, big or small, and I reciprocated. He always liked people to know that I was around, and he would announce loudly, "Greetings to my friend M.I. from GBC or NCN or wherever I was at the time." He would often cajole me into saying a few words on the microphone, and sometimes included me on the spot on some of his gigs, smiling broadly and saying, "Don't worry, they're gonna pay you." Or even splitting his pay with me just because he wanted me to be involved. You know, over time, Mondale started cooking, and I supported when I could or when I had the time. Because of my busy schedule, sometimes I was unable to do that. Mondale loved being Guyanese and had high hopes for our country and faith that we can overcome petty differences and come together like we do at cricket and at Mashramani. He loved Mashramani and the arts and music. Oh, and he loved singing. He tried all genres of music and entered competitions too. Before I came up here, Shami reminded us that Mondale, as a technical operator, would go into the recording studio at GBC and upset the chief operator because he was always recording himself singing. He thought he would make it big one day as a singer. You know, in 2019, he called me to say, "I'm giving your name to the management at Mega Radio Station. I think you'll make a great addition to the team." And I thanked him for that and the many other opportunities which will probably take a book to tell you all about. I was always concerned about his health, and he was concerned about my health. When he had his sick episodes, I would call or message him to let him know that I was thinking of him. Last year, he wanted me to be a part of two activities.
I am not.
One of them was an event organized by the all-white boat cruise posse, and this was to reward persons for their support over the years with the karaoke competition. And he asked me to be a judge. Unfortunately, it clashed with me being on air, and I declined. He thought that I didn't want to do it because no payment was mentioned. He always insisted on payment for work done. But the truth is, I really could not make it. One time, Mondale posted a prayer on Facebook about his need for a new stove and other things as Chef Mondale's kitchen was growing. I pointed him in the right direction, and he was successful. And he showered me with thanks and never stopped saying, "Thank you for showing me what to do." The second thing he wanted me to do was to attend the opening of his restaurant in November of last year. He messaged several times over and over and left voice notes with reminders. That was the last time I saw him in person because I don't go out because of COVID-19. He was happy that I attended, and so was I. On All Year's Day 2020, Mondale was part of a group of people who I asked to share their expectations for the new year to come on my program, The Morning Fuel, on 93.1 Real FM. We spoke later about the non-functioning Mashramani Committee, and we both wanted to were there for Mashramani 2021, even if there was supposed to be a virtual program. On his birthday in April, I wished him all the best, and he said thank you, and he reminded me to stay safe from the coronavirus. I have had my own issues to deal with during this pandemic, and when I heard that he was hospitalized, I kept promising to message him. But I knew he was in isolation, and I wasn't sure if he had his phone. And so, time passed. Because I had mentioned him in passing twice on the Saturday before, I promised to message him on Monday, May 31st. Alas, I never got a chance to do so. Rest in peace, my dear MS, your friend MI from 1901. I will miss you terribly. Thank you.
Thank you, Morano. And before Morano goes any further, one time Emma
Mondale was lying. Morano was lying. And I said, Morano was lying. So I said, am I? And Mondale commented under the same post. Hi, I am the only person that's supposed to call him am I? You don't do that. A comedian Mondale was. And for all his classmates at UG, you know Mondale was the comedian of the class.
Oh my God.
And everywhere he went, he would make you laugh. I know Jason is watching right now on Facebook. And Marissa will tell you about that one afternoon when Jason said the wrong thing to Mondale Smith. Why are you wearing that African print to UG? Emancipation Day gone. And boy did he get a mouthful from that. But you know he did not bear malice till his last, when he took his leave from UG. And even after, they became very good friends from that day. He never said, I'm not talking to this person because social reasons. They became very good friends. And Jason was one of the persons who called me on that fateful day. I'll now introduce the next speaker, who is no stranger to any of us, just like many of the other persons who spoke here before. Ladies and gentlemen, comedian and broadcaster, Chow.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'd like to say, first of all, condolences to Mr. Smith's family, his friends, and everybody out here tonight. Thanks for coming. And thanks to the organizing team for putting this together. Before I go further, I would like to do what I love to do when I'm celebrating. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, put your each and every one of you right now, put your hands together for Mr. Mondale Smith. No! No! Make some noise! Let me celebrate this one. I even do it Chopo style. Can I move this man?
Yes.
Yeah, Chopo style. Everybody, somebody said Chopo style. Yeah, we say Chopo style, right? You see, Chopo did not start in the arts.
Exactly, you know.
Chopo started as a promoter way back in 1987 when most of the ladies were
You saw
respected as
Selfie Boss
dancers.
around here?
Huh?
Yes,
Selfie
because
Boss.
you guys used to sit on one side.
Yeah, he's
And when the man wanted to dance, he used to come and ask
He asked me to hold his
respectfully,
phone for
may
him,
I
but I
have the
gotta
pleasure
go.
of this dance?
Oh, you working with him?
No,
I hear it. You must have said I'm somewhere, me, you know.
Right? And then
What
I had a
story is
period
this?
where
Well, just
I
press it
interacted
off.
with substances.
No, I wouldn't press it off.
Or but you stand up.
However, my
Don't be that way, man.
was to be an entertainer.
Cruel.
In 2003,
Oh
I
my
entered the
God.
stage. In 2005, I
So
started
how
doing
things
comedy.
with you going?
And the place
How
where I did
things
it
with
was
you?
Oh,
at
everything's
the
good. How are you?
upscale
Why you couldn't come
restaurant
like
bar.
2 hours ago
Y'all
when I
remember
was
the
here by
place?
myself?
To be
That,
honest,
wow, that was something else, huh?
I forgot
Somebody needs to do
everything
that
about
again.
it, right?
And you know I wanted to
I
talk
was
to you about
funny,
it.
right?
It's not my
No,
word. This is
because
my
I
first
know him
encounter.
personally, like since
Okay.
I growing up, I know
With Mondale
Mondale.
Smith.
So my brother used to date his niece, the same girl I was talking to. So we were
Okay.
like really close. So I drive it and then I turn up here and I'm asking myself, how the hell I turn up to copy direction? I say, you know what? When since
Yeah,
in the
sorry
route you
about
might
that.
as well pass because
So I was
otherwise
performing,
it's the
and at
road.
upscale, we use a lot of crazy language. And
Yeah.
after the show, Mondale came up to me and said, oh, so
Maybe.
you the Chopo? I said, yeah.
But they have to hear
He
what's
said,
going
yeah, but you like make no Batty Man joke.
They don't know. They don't know who you are.
I started laughing. And
I
then
didn't.
it was a joke.
I said friend.
You would
The
ask
one,
me,
I think
Chopo,
more than
you
that.
eat cabbage today because for the give over the squad, you come back. I just let me tell you, I'll be straight up, right? But how Mondale Smith impacted my life was in a different area. Chopo's got no training by no entity.
He really doesn't.
I've never went to a drama school. I've never went to a
supposed to be at a
broadcasting
meeting at 8
workshop.
o'clock. Why am
I've
I-
never done anything
I am
with
not
no
taking that. I
anything
feel
at
like
all.
you should press it off.
All you see here is
Now it
raw
just be
talent
even worse because
and an
first
open
they would
mind,
say, first they would
learning on the job. Like Mondale Smith.
say,
Mondale was not only a broadcaster, he was a magnificent MC. He was a good comedian as well. And he was one of the most fun persons that I ever met in this entire life. I could tantalize Mondale with anything. And the next day he would come and give me a drop in my taxi and pay me a little extra too. That was the kind of guy Mondale was. And when I was getting into MCing now, I had no one to learn from. And because of Mondale's approach to MCing, I started studying people like Mondale Smith, Morano Isaac, Malcolm Ferreira, these guys, casual, and learning from them. On-the-job training. And Mondale was the guy who taught me how to blend information with entertainment. And that's what brought out my comedy at shows like Soca Monarch and stuff like that. Mondale paved the way for this. And for this I'm going to say, yo Mondale, thanks bro. Because of what you did, this brother here, who never had no official training, could do what I do today and entertain people. Thanks guys, Mondale. We're gonna meet someday, and maybe when we meet up, you're gonna be introducing me to the stage. Here comes Ghana's #1 modest comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love for Mr. Chow Paul. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. And hey, y'all stop making this thing look like a wake. This is not no wake. This is a celebration of one of the richest sons of the sky. Hold on, one more thing. I know y'all know this song. On Channel 9, during our little times, this song will play. I can't sing, people, and they ain't got the song to play it. But I'm gonna sing it. It goes something like this. How many more? Y'all know the song? If y'all know the song, make some noise right now. I'm gonna tell y'all something y'all don't know. I was standing in the back there with Mondale Smith's immediate family, and he informed me that Mondale was the person that put the video to the song that we looked on for so many years. That's the talent of the brother that has gone beyond. Many more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chow Pao. A love for the arts Mondale Smith had. And if you knew Mondale Smith like I did, you would know that he loves to sing, didn't he? Yes. Loves to sing. I'm going to tell you something.
Oh my God.
While he attended university together, he had 3 friends, 4 friends that he would hang out with every class would sit together. And Mondale loved to sing so much. We were coming home in the car some night, and a song would come on the radio, and you hear Mondale more than you hear the person that's singing on the radio. And he always loved to sing. Every morning he would watch one of his live videos, singing and cooking and singing and praising God. And now, his relatives will be coming next to sing for Mondale and to sing for you. Put your hands together for them. I think there is need.
Good evening, everyone. We are the nieces of the late Mondale Smith, and our song is entitled He Was Here, inspired by Beyonce.
Very good movie. That's good movie. And the black and the green. The one in the black and the green.
Something that he left behind. When he left this world, he left no regrets, but something to remember. So more than he thought it would be. He has left his mark, so everyone know he was here. I wanna say he lived each day until he died. You know that he meant something in somebody's life. The hearts he has touched would be the proof that he lived, that he made a difference, and everyone have seen he was here. He lived, he loved, he was here. He did, he done everything that he wanted, and it was more than he thought it would be. He had left his mark, so everyone will know he was here. I just want them to know he did his own, done his best, brought someone some happiness, left this world a little better just because he was here. He loved, he was here. He did, he done everything that he wanted, and it was more than he thought it would be. He had left his mark, so everyone will know he was here. He lived, he loved, he was here. He did, he done everything that he wanted, and it's more than he thought it would be. He had left his mark, so everyone will know he was here. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I see singing runs in the family. What he means many of us, including me. I kid. We're going to continue with tributes coming from veteran journalist Adam Harris. Okay, so Adam Harris and Julia Johnson.
Now, in the reporting world, I don't think we got anybody who knew Mondale better than me and Julia. We met Mondale way back in the 1990s when he joined Evening News. And I remember sending Mondale to an assignment. Might have been something to do with old people or something. The next thing you know is that Mondale MC the show. He was a reporter and turned MC. But he come back with a good story. Of course, I survive, I send you for that. And a lot of people don't realize it, but he had a way whenever you vex with you, he twists your head from one side. We had some great times. I am known as the person who used to cut Mondale tape when I was a son. Nazima talk about going out on assignment with Mondale and learning. Julia can tell you about the quarrels she had with Mondale.
But before I go into that, I want to tell everybody, welcome here and to celebrate Mondale's life. Celebrate it. It's not a time to be sad about Mondale. Yes, we know it's a solemn occasion, but So we said to him, take the weekend and we will move on from there based on how the audience, the public reacts to you. Mondale took that and he would come in, Jay, you don't think I could read the news tonight? If Ron Robinson wasn't available or Mrs. Hughes wasn't available, he said, you don't think I could read the news tonight? And so, when Mondale got a chance to anchor the news, it was like the best thing that ever happened to him. Because as far as he was concerned, he was the television personality. Mondale was a friend, a colleague. He was so many things to so many people. But to me, he always called me Mama J or Miss J. And that was his title of respect to me, even though we were not that far apart in age. But he always said, Miss J, you know what? And then he would tap the head on one side. I said, yes, Mondale, what is it? And then he would tell you exactly what he wanted. Mondale and I, when Mondale got sick recently, he said, Miss J, I've been home, I've been sick for 5 days at home. I said, Mondale, you need to get out and get to the hospital. And he and I kept up that conversation all through. Every day, I would say, Mondale, how are you today? What's happening? Did you get the test? Did you get your test result? And then one day, I think it was May 24th, he sent me a message and he said, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being there for me. It was the hardest message I've ever received from somebody I felt close to. Mondale's death to me has hit me in a place that I found really hard, but for the past few days, I have been able to smile and I have been able to remember the good things about Mondale, the way he made people feel. And they said it's not the way you say things, but the way you do it and how people feel about the way you do things. That was Mondale Smith. Mondale wanted everybody to be happy, and he wanted you to have a lasting impression of happiness about him. I stand here tonight to say farewell to my colleague, my brother, my son, and I love him.
What she didn't tell you, her birthday was in May, the 14th of May. So a group of us had a party and we went to Jamrock Cafe. And Mondale was in the kitchen. And we have a photograph of Mondale joining the brand new school. Mondale cooked all the fried chicken you could think about and fish. That was the last time I saw him alive. And I will always remember Mondale because when you look at me, Mondale was younger than my eldest son. And he always called me Dad. I was Mondale's father. I was the father for everybody, including Nazima. Mondale was one of these fellas who would get you vexed this minute and got you laughing the next minute. And we're going to keep that memory alive. You know, somebody talked about the song they had when we had the killings, How Many More? Me and Mondale went down by Bibi Gun shop in Rob Street. And we bought the cassette. In them days, not like today, you got the CD, not the CD, no, flash drive for them kind of thing. And we bought this thing and we went back to the studio. Mondale was instrumental in getting the office to put this thing together. And those of you who are old enough will remember a fellow named John King, was it? A Bajan fellow singing How Many More? That was Mondale. So if you want to pay a tribute to his handiwork, pull out the cassette and just play the music. Or go on YouTube. You got Mondale dancing on something he's singing and dancing. He did like that. Go on, they had a time they had a plane come in. One of them fly by night, charter flight. So the children were promised a flight. I said Mondale got come with the plane. The plane never left the ground. And Mondale made those children happy. You would believe they've been to New York and come back. He was singing to them. Mondale is the son, and he will be the second son that I've had to bury. I will always remember him.
My last message from Mondale Smith was to tell me, it is well with my soul. Amen.
Adam Harris. Yeah, sorry, I got a little. We're going to continue. So, as I said earlier, Mondale Smith loved to dress in his African prints and to, listen to his music and dance by himself, even though there's no one around to be dancing by himself. So right now, let's get up and dance with him a little. We're going to have drumming by Mondale Smith's brother-in-law, Adam T. So let's put our hands together.
So when you're ready for close, I have to close, I have to selfie.